Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being at our board meeting this evening. We are going to start with a riveting fiscal year 23 revised budget hearing. Mr. Haggerty, you ready? We're ready.
Kind of ready. We were just enjoying the great party outside. Madam President, members of the board, fellow employees, and honored guests. Tonight, we're going to be talking about our revised budget. This will be the last revision of the year. Our fiscal year closes on June 30th. And now I've got something I can speak to there. All right. We always have to do this prior to May 15th of every year. The revisions that we're going to be making this year, right now at the very end, we got a little more growth than was in the budget we adopted in December. And that's going to add a little bit more money to the bottom line. And also, we have some override money that we'll be able to add to this also. So this is good news all the way around. So let's talk about the maintenance and operation budget, which is our general fund, is going to go up $323,000 on what's in front of you right now. Of that, $258,000 is for additional growth. Growth is good. Growth puts more money in the coffers. It gives us the opportunity to put more money in the classroom and take care of our students and our staff. And the override also, which is based on that, is also going up. We adopted a budget back originally that had more override in it, and we decreased it in December, but now we have this growth, we're able to recapture that, and there it is. And our Prop 301 money also is going to go up very slightly, but that was an adjustment we had. Our capital, which is also known as District Additional Assistance, is unchanged on this. So we have some changes in our fund balances. Our maintenance and operation budget actually has a very major carryover in it. However, we took and swept the majority of that out and put it into our medical insurance trust. The reason we did that is because our board president is also our trust board president, who said, hey, I want 3 years of reserves set up in there. This doesn't give us 3 years, it gives us 3.2 years. So, so hopefully you're happy with that one. Yeah. And, but the carryover is actually going to drop down to somewhere around $1 million, depending upon encumbrances in the year end as we close out the year. That medical insurance trust balance will be a little over $12 million. I think we're in a pretty good spot there. So that does feel really good. And then our district additional assistance, which I also note is capital, is going to have a large carryover. We're doing that for a reason, because we know we have expenditures coming up that are going to really tap into that pretty heavily, so having that large carryover is really important to us. And with that, do we have any questions?
Any questions from the board? Questions? And this is a public board hearing. Are there any questions from the public? You can come up here and ask your question.
Can you tell me what Proposition 123 is in the budget?
That is a great question. This is one of our 8th graders graduating this year, too.
Yes.
Prop 123 was passed back in May of 2016 for settling a lawsuit. And it's basically providing $3.5 billion over a 10-year period into school districts. Part of that, the bulk of it is coming out of the land trust. And then the rest of it is coming out of the general fund over that period of time. So the important thing to note there is that it's going to actually sunset on June 30th of 2025, and we are preparing for that if the legislature does not backfill it before that time. So we're prepared for it one way or the other. So very good, but an excellent question. Yes, and you got a follow-up, I think.
I do. Thank you for your
follow-up answer.
Thank you for your thorough explanation. President Berrigan and members of the board, I want to make a statement to Kevin. Kevin, on behalf of the students of the Lavina Elementary School District, I want to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude for all the hard work and dedication you have shown us during your tenure here. Your contributions have had a significant impact on our district, and we're also so grateful for everything you have done to help make Lavina a better place for students and staff. Whether it was managing budgets, planning for new schools, or ensuring that our schools had the resources they need to thrive, your expertise has been invaluable to us. You have always been approachable, supportive, and genuinely interested in our success, and we have all benefited greatly from your leadership. As you move on to the next chapter of your life, please know that you will be missed and that your contribution to our district will never be forgotten. We wish you all the best in your retirement and hope that you will always remember how much you meant to us here in Levine. You'll always be my minion to me.
There is a story to the minion statement, but we're going to leave that one alone right now.
I think that's it, Mr. Haggerty. Thank you very much.
I
Oh,
do have, one.
yes.
If I may just take one moment, because, now that my 46-year career is coming to a close, I always like to reflect. And during that reflection, I always turn to a very famous philosopher and get words of wisdom that means something to pretty much everybody in the room. And the philosopher's name is Theodore Geisel, mostly known as Dr. Seuss, very famous philosopher. So for our students, and it's good to see all of you here, you'll be on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to great heights. For our governing board, who has to make really tough decisions to really support our kids and all the programs that you get, and the staff, be sure when you step with great care and tact. And remember that life's a great balancing act. For the staff, people I've known for quite a while now, and some from other districts that have come here, and we've been able to work together. Right, Eric? Sorry. It's not about what it is. It's about what it can become. And for my kids, Sean and Aaron and their spouses, Suzanne and Jason, sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. For my incredible granddaughters, Ellie, Quintessa, and Dublin, I've got two. First one is, why fit in when you were born to stand out? Right, girls? They're back there. Excuse me, and only you can control your future. Now, for myself, I've got just one simple line. How did it get so late so soon? And for Pam, my bride of 50 years, I've got, to the world you may be what you may be one person, but to one person, you are the world. For everybody, the one I've got is as you go through life's challenges, and you get these points in time that you're passing, always remember, never be upset because it's over, but be happy because it happened. Thank you for your indulgence one more time.
Okay, thank you for that. Slightly unusual budget revision, but I very much enjoyed it. Very much enjoyed it. You could have continued on another 20 years here as far as I'm concerned, but God bless you for being able to retire. Okay, we will call the meeting to order. Elsa, will you do roll call, please? Here. Here.
Here.
And if you can all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we need to approve the agenda for the evening. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And the approval of the minutes from the April 13th board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motioned and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Dr. Sprout, Superintendent's report, please.
Thank you, President Berrigan and governing board members. There we go. In preparation of Staff Appreciation Week, which was this week, volunteers from Levine Elementary School and the City of Phoenix's Youth and Education Office joined Vice Mayor Yasemin Ansari and Councilwoman Keisha Hodge Washington and Governing Board Clerk Michelle Anderson and Board Member Linda Abeg to pack 1,000 swag bags for all Levine employees. Bags included reusable cups, snacks, as you can see here, Starbucks, refreshers, and more. And that was a lot of work. If you're wondering how long it takes for people to revolve around and pack 1,000 bags, it's about 2 hours, right? So it was
2 hours plus.
2 hours plus. And since it is Staff Appreciation Week, one of the things that we celebrate is that all of our staff here in this district are educators. And every person in our district, we run a lean, mean operation. Every person's job matters in this district. And our staff board defines greatness. That's why we have our theme this year, Find Greatness Here, because our staff exemplifies greatness, and we see it every day. And so thank you to each of our amazing staff for exemplifying greatness and for your impact. And let's give our entire Levine staff of approximately 1,000 employees a huge round of applause. By the way, it is May, which means we got a lot of celebrations. This is our last big meeting with students that are still in classes, and so here we go, guys. A lot of fun celebrations. So first of all, for the last 7 months, I've been asking our 3rd and 4th grade students to exercise their brains and math muscles. The superintendent's math all-stars completed over 850,000 minutes of extra math this year. In September, students in 3rd and 4th grade took a placement test in ALEX, our adaptive learning tool, and were loaned a Chromebook, which they took home for the entire school year. Throughout the year, our students worked on math at their own pace. They earned prizes for completing monthly minutes, and over 150 students not only finished their current grade level, but they moved on to next year's content. So tonight, we're going to recognize our MVPs, and these are the #1 students at each of their school for minutes in the Math All-Star Club. And so here we go. President Berrigan, our first student with 2,536 minutes, Sukari Gresham from Trailside Point School. When I call your name, come on up. Next, with 2,256 minutes, Janexia Lara Espino from Levine Elementary. Next, with 3,486 minutes, Maximiliano Duran from Paseo Point. With 3,613 minutes, Jennifer Torres Laredo from MC Cash. These ones that aren't here are still, the club is still going. They're probably doing their math right now. With 3,180 minutes, Ashley Naomi Lopez Reyes from Rogers Ranch. With 4,639 minutes, Bang Lee from Vista del Sur Accelerated Academy. With 4,798 minutes, Maya Casus from Cheatham Elementary. With 7,075 minutes, Eleanor Drew from Desert Meadows. And with 8,942 minutes, Jason Guan from Estrella Foothills. So Jason is our #1 student in the entire district. Congratulations. Here's our, We will have a Hall of Fame, and so these are our students for the Hall of Fame. And parents, we're going to get a picture with the students, President Berrigan and myself, but if you'd like to come up here real quick and get a picture too, please feel free to do so.
You guys doing anything for the summer?
Going. Congratulations to Dr. Joe Roselle, recipient of School Connect's Founders Heart Award. Dr. Roselle was recognized for helping our community identify the core needs of Levine students, educators, and community, and use the School Connect Cafe model to solve community-based problems with community-based solutions. Dr. Roselle, would you please come forward? Also with School Connect, we have Chance Stribling. Chance, if you'd please come up, we can get you in the picture as well. All right, Butch. Here we go. On April 25th, the Gifted team hosted a family game night. It was awesome for all of our gifted families in Levine School District. The games available addressed 3 identified areas: quantitative, verbal, and nonverbal. A total of 51 families attended this fun event. For the 9th year in a row, Levine has received the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Association of School Business Officials International. There we go. Thanks to the leadership of Anita Purcell, the district has once again met the ASBO criteria for excellence in reporting. And Anita, would you please come forward? Congratulations to Officer George Pizarro, Desert Meadows School Resource Officer, who was named the LRE, or Law-Related Education Officer of the Year by the Arizona Foundation for Legal Services and Education. This award was instituted to recognize exceptional contributions of Arizona police and probation officers in furthering education and understanding of the role of the law in our democratic society. Officer Pizarro was nominated by Desert Meadows Principal J.P. Ketchum. Officer Pizarro, would you please come forward, and congratulations. Rogers Ranch teacher Savannah Lee has been selected as the NAU College of Education 2023 Outstanding Master Student from the Department of STEM Education. Ms. Lee was recognized for raising the bar for all those around her and all who will follow her. She was recognized in an honors recognition ceremony last month, and I think I saw you back there, Ms. Lee. Would you please come forward? Vulcan Materials has been a strong supporter of various educational initiatives in the Levine Elementary School District for several years. Support has ranged from funding Wi-Fi hotspots during the pandemic to sponsoring our Chief Science Officer programs. This year, we are especially proud of how Vulcan Materials and thankful for how Vulcan Materials has supported our STEM initiatives by hosting a field trip to one of their mines, which our kids absolutely loved. Attending our STEM Cafe, partnering with Rogers Ranch School, and now donating $20,000 to Desert Meadows School, enabling them to create a coding cafe. The Levine School District aspires to develop strategic partnerships in order to prepare our students for jobs of the future, and we would like to recognize Vulcan Materials for helping us with that aspiration. Paul Martzleft and Sid Frankham are here tonight to represent Vulcan Materials. Gentlemen, would you please come forward? Our annual kickball thing is a thing. It is becoming a big deal with schools creating custom shirts. And so I didn't write this, but here we go. I love it. On Friday, April 28th, a new LESD kickball champion was crowned, displaying characteristics found only in cheetahs who can reach speeds of up to 64 miles per hour in 3 seconds. The Cheatham Cheetahs proved to be too much for their opponents. In the championship game against the EFGA Scorpions, and I'm sorry, but Scorpions do not move that fast. The Cheetahs persevered. It was a game of defense, and they beat the Scorpions 1-0, and so let's give a round of applause to Cheetahs. It was a great, great event. Look around the room here. This is, what you're seeing reflects the work of our art program. At every student, at every school in our district has a chance, or takes an art class. Not has a chance, they take an art class. And that's something that we are devoted to as a district, and we've got the best art teachers that lead their students in creating the work that you see all around here. Our inaugural district-wide art show was held on April 27th in the boardroom here. The show featured almost 300 pieces of art from Levine schools and at all grade levels. And so let's give our artists a round of applause. Estrella Foothills Global Academy held their first World Fair last week, showcasing the research of each grade level had conducted as it applied to their assigned continent. Students presented artifacts and information from the following categories from their continents: agriculture, technology, world issues, arts and craftsmanship, important people, and my favorite, food and beverages. And there was some great food, and it was a wonderful affirmation of our International Baccalaureate program. Several Levine teams competed in the recent Mesa Day held at Grand Canyon University. 33 teams from across the state were participating in, by the way, Mesa stands for Mathematics, Engineering, Science Achievement Competition. Listen to these results from two of our schools. Two of Rogers Ranch teams took first place in the Mesa Attack Vehicle and Sustainable Skyscraper Challenges. Vista teams also took first place in the Hack Attack Challenge, second place in the Attack Vehicle Challenge, and third place in the Sustainable Skyscraper Challenge. We pretty much dominated, and so let's give our schools a round of applause for that. Okay, so I read this a few weeks ago in the weekly newsletter for Estrella Foothills and said we've got to get these folks here to our governing board meeting. So EFGA fourth grade student Amara Howard wants to be a 911 dispatcher when she grows up. She has been working hard to embody the traits that a dispatcher has in order to meet with and interview an actual Phoenix Fire dispatcher. She got her wish and was able to meet Dominic Cuellar with Phoenix Fire. School counselor Casey Osterday orchestrated this opportunity for Amara. And so Amara and Dominic, would you please come forward? MC Cash's fifth graders visited J.A. Biztown, where they learned about working in today's world. They created business plans, completed marketing campaigns, and determined costs. Students even ran for and were elected to local government jobs. MC Cash student Janine Carrasco Villa was voted as Biztown mayor. She was selected by her peers for being kind and welcoming to everyone and always helping others. And I believe the mayor is in the house. Would you please come forward, Janine? We're going to have, Janine is very excited because she's going to, Janine, we're going to do this right here. We're gonna have- oh, you're good. Three of her hands, but Janine is going to give us her mayor speech. So, Janine, come on up, and I believe, are we good on this microphone? Okay. It's all yours.
Hello, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Janine Villa. I first want to thank you for the privilege of being here today. I'm willing to focus and provide the very best services for J.A. Biztown and for our community. I strive to keep an eye toward how we can make things better, for example, promoting economic development and better excellent school systems. My purpose is to make everyone have an opportunity of success and to be able to enjoy our town. Let's all make differences for a better community.
Just remember, yeah, let's hear it for let's all remember this moment when she gets elected to be the mayor of Phoenix. So thank you, Janine. That was a great speech, and it was a lot shorter than most politicians. But it was very good. All right. Every year we celebrate classified employees who have earned their degrees and will then become teachers in our school district. So when I call your name, would you please come forward? First we have, let me read this and then we'll clap for them, okay? So Catalina Kohler is a school guest teacher, and she will be teaching second grade next year for us at Levine Elementary School. She earned her BA in Early Childhood Education from the U of A Global Campus. Catalina, would you please come forward? Karen Arce Ortiz, she is a district guest teacher, and she will next year be a fourth grade teacher at Trailside Point. She recently earned her BA in Education from ASU. Okay. Next, Ananda Johnson. Ananda is a school guest teacher, and she will be a sixth grade language arts teacher at MC Cash. She earned a BA in English from Grand Canyon University. Is Ananda here? Okay. Next, Leslie Garcia. She is a district guest teacher. She's also served as an IA. She will be moving to sixth grade at Rogers Ranch, and she recently completed her BA in elementary education from ASU. Leslie, are you here? I just realized, I think it's like graduation right now, so we might be overlapping. At 4:30 tonight, we had a wonderful reception for our retirees, and we were able to pay tribute to them, but we would like to call them up right now and recognize them. As I said earlier, if you don't know these folks, you're looking at three that are the best of the best in the jobs that they do, and we're going to miss them greatly, but we're also very, very excited because they've got great plans for the years ahead. And so, would the following people please come forward? First of all, Rogers Ranch receptionist Lorraine Berumen. Come on forward. Lorraine was hired here in 2018. Our assistant superintendent for academic services, Kathy Davis. Hired in 2012 here. And then our chief financial officer and Dr. Zeus Quoter, Kevin Haggerty, hired in 2014. Please all stand and let's recognize All right, guys. Employees of the Month. I think, Tim, 3 years ago, we were at Grand Canyon University. We met this guy named Kevin Cohen. I remember the day, and he had driven here from California to interview for jobs in Arizona. and here he is 3 years later. Kevin Cohen is a special education self-contained teacher at Cheatham Elementary. Kevin is currently in his 3rd year of teaching special education at Cheatham Elementary, and what a year he is having. Mr. Cohen has shown tremendous growth as a teacher, and he is always eager to learn more. Taking guidance from his instructional coaches and setting goals for himself that he is reaching and surpassing every week. Even before walking into Mr. Cohen's classroom, you'll see his students walking through the halls and getting off their buses with huge smiles on their faces because they're excited to be going to school. Thank you, Mr. Cohen, for being such a bright light and an inspiration to your students and for giving your all in becoming a great teacher. Please join me in congratulating our Certified Employee of the Month, Kevin Cohen.
There's not, I can say so much about Mr. Cohen right now, but just the growth that Mr. Cohen has shown from every day stepping in. I will say that he comes every day with a smile on his face. You see that smile right there? Students see that each and every day. And I'm just really proud of the growth that you and your students have shown. And Mr. Cohen shows up to work every single day. He has the best attendance. So he beats us all. Like our mayor said, we're looking for someone that can make a difference in his kids' lives. It is Mr. Cohen.
I just want to say a couple words. Everything that was said is all true. I think of the 50 times I've been up here with staff to honor them, this has given me the greatest joy. And that's from the bottom of my heart. I can't tell you how excited I am that Kevin's been recognized today. And I know how excited your students were when you were recently awarded. Tim told me all about it. It's all deserved, and we're very happy that you're here, and thank you for all that you do.
Our classified employee of the month is Sharon Walton, instructional associate at Desert Meadows. In just her first full year of working as an instructional associate, Sharon has proven herself to be a great motivator to our students. She believes in them and is always holding them to high expectations as she knows they are capable of giving their all. Wherever there is a need, she jumps in and helps students with their spelling words, writing assignments, or working with them on their math problems. Sharon has also volunteered at Special Olympics Field Day and attends meetings to offer support and solutions to problems as they may arise. We greatly value you as an employee, Sharon, and we appreciate your dedication to our students. Sharon, would you please come forward?
This is very well deserved. It was just a year or so ago when we had the unique pleasure of interviewing Ms. Walton for her position. She started out as a CCA associate, now to move on to being an associate. When we talk about someone who does it all, she's like a utility infielder in baseball. Whatever we ask her to do, she does it with enthusiasm, with grace and excitement for what she does. And she's just a great person to have on our campus.
now we will turn it over to Desert Meadows School for our classroom spotlight. And back to you again, Principal Ketchum.
Thank you. President Berrigan, members of the governing board, Dr. Sprout, and guests, thank you for the opportunity tonight to present the spotlight. Last summer, we were fortunate enough to hire Mr. Troy Rivera, our technology teacher, and under his leadership, he's been hard at work getting our signature coding program up to snuff and getting it running again and creating a blueprint for the next several years. Tonight, you're going to hear about some of the exciting things we have planned, including our first ever summer coding camp and the redesign of our library into what we are going to call the Coding Cafe. Thanks to our partners at Vulcan Materials for their help in making that Coding Cafe a reality. Mr. Rivera and some of our amazing 7th and 8th grade students are here tonight, and they'll be giving you a brief glimpse of what coding looks like at Desert Meadows. Hope you enjoy tonight's presentation. Mr. Rivera.
Good evening, board. Dr. Sprout, we're excited to be here tonight, so I'll make this brief because we want to get you in action and show you some coding work today. My name is Troy Rivera, and I am the technology teacher at Desert Meadows, and we are really building ourselves at Desert Meadows. We are looking at a system-wide at their school, which will be providing kindergarten through 8th grade as a coding program. It'll teach our students, preparing them hands-on experience, independent work with critical thinking, and also preparing themselves for what the computer science job market looks like. That just deals not with spreadsheets and Word docs, but also diving more into Python, the text, and as well as block coding and going from there. I've been working on Saturdays since I got the job here, and when JP asked me about what we need to do, this is what I came up with. I started looking at the Arizona state standards, which are getting ready to change here, and updates for Arizona, as well as looking at the ETSI standards, and created up what we like to call the scope and sequence. Now, this is a working document that we're looking at to implement for next year, which basically sets out for kindergarten all the way through our 8th grade. Each part of it is a building block that will add additional to what our students are working. So in kindergarten, we are going to start teaching them coding, but it's going to be more of a hands-on program. By the time they get to 8th grade, they will have that whole system working for them as well. So what we've done so far in our progress, as you can see in the very left side, we started with our kindergarten through 1st grade. They've been working with BBOTs, which are the hand independent work, which is they learn the functions of up, down, left, or right. In my class, the students will always say, when you need the robot to go, they say straight. I said straight doesn't exist in coding. It's either up, down, left, or right. So it's always been a fun time with the students there. From kindergarten, then we move up to 1st and 2nd grade. We'll start working with Codable, which now starts talking about conditions and loops and if and then statements, so something that's a repeating, and it shows the students if I want the same product to work over and over, I don't need to type it in every single time. I can use it, create a loop, and going from there. And then we move into our 3rd and 4th grade, and all the way from 2nd to 4th, they work with Scratch, and then we build up to code.org, which is in our 5th and 6th grade. And then when you get to 7th and 8th grade, you start working more with the robots, Sphero, as well as making augmented reality, as well as virtual reality. And my 7th and 8th graders created virtual roller coasters, and some of them worked on creating what we like to call as the floor is lava. So it's kind of like a video game that they created through co-ed space. So these are some of our creative projects, as you can see, working with bots there, as well as Scratch, and then building with the students tonight that we'll talk to you about jousting, because that's what you're going to be doing, is you're going to learn how to run the robot and joust and try to knock over another cup from another person. And then on the very bottom is one of our virtual roller coasters that one of our students in 8th grade created, so you can take that virtual experience as well. Also this year, we were fortunate enough to start our first ever esports, and we were in both the fall, winter, and spring league. We did very well in our Rocket League, and so we were able to have one team, which was our varsity team, and now with the great donation coming our way, we're going to be looking to build our team into a 2-team, which is varsity and junior varsity. But we're really excited. The kids are really fun, and today, yesterday, one of my 7th graders was playing a Super Smash Brothers, and I said, you do know that's an esports game that we can do in the winter, and so now I have a team that's ready to active to make that happen, and so they keep bothering me, when does it happen? And I said in January, when we get back from winter break. And then I'm really excited about this summer. We are doing our first ever coding academy. If you ever look at any of the cost of coding academies, anything that deals with computers, it's around about $500, $900 per student. We're fortunate that we're going to be offering it to our Desert Meadow students for free, and which is really exciting. And currently it's right now for grades 3 through 7. And they're going to have 3 options. They can work with Minecraft Education, the edition, or they can do Makey Makeys, or they're going to work with the Edison robots. And so they're going to get to experience all 3 in the very first week, and then the following weeks they're going to really dive into one particular course. At the very end, they'll be able to present to their families and their parents what they did for during the Coding Academy over the summer. So we're really excited about that. And then our future outlook is, I'm excited because I get to have a new classroom, which is called the Coding Cafe, which will be half of our library and provides us more room and expansion and everything with our students. And then also we're going to start implementing next year where we'll start building student portfolios because we're taking this as a K-8 experience. So next year we'll start with kindergarten, 3rd, and 6th. And then by the year of 25, 26, we'll have 2nd, 5th, and 8th will be our last grade. So then we move into 26, 27. All our students will have a portfolio that shows the progression from kindergarten all the way up to 8th grade and going from there. It will be basically in just our classrooms, so we're doing more of a strand in our building, which is, I'm excited because I'll get to see all the kids, and so I get to see all the progression and everything going from there, which then leads to our 3rd one, is that all our students will have some type of certification from kindergarten all the way to their 8th grade that they'll be able to hold and move forward. And if they choose to go into computer science or coding, we'll have the Coding Academy, which is the Phoenix Coding Academy, which is our feeder school that we're going to work with. And we have established partnership with them, so that way they see all of that stuff and everything, where they can provide and going from there. With that said, I'm done talking, because now our students, which is Alana Valencia, Alexander Hanshoff, Alexander Mendez, Audrey Carrillo, Uriel Hernandez-Corrales, and Santiago Aragon, are going to ask you, Dr. Sprout, and the board members to come on down, because they're going to teach you how to maneuver the joustings, the robots, and see who can knock someone over real quickly.
Now that you got Dr. Sprout hooked. This will be the next 2 hours.
But you're always more than welcome to come join us next year in the classroom to really experience this. And you can create your O's during the summer, and we can have a board versus a school competition.
Mr. Rivera and students, if you don't mind just coming forward, we'll get a picture with you, and let's give them a round of applause. So, Mr. Rivera and students, Mr. Ketchum, parents, 2 things I learned to do in school that weren't part of the curriculum when I was a kid. One was programming, and one was playing chess. 2 activities that I think do wonders for your development. And so, parents, you are at the right school. Thank you to for all you're doing, Mr. Rivera, for building this program from the ground floor. It's going to be very exciting by 25, 26 to see where Desert Meadows is with respect to coding. And the point I'm trying to make is, even if you don't become a coder, it's going to make you a better thinker and better at solving problems. So once again, let's give them a round of applause. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Okay, I just want to add to that, families, thanks for sharing your kids with us tonight and letting us see the wonderful work that they've done. Mr. Rivera, clearly you have taken this program and run with it from summer coding academies to developing student portfolios to working on partnerships for their 9-12 education, and just appreciate that. I know that for some kids, the day of school isn't what motivates them and keeps them going. But to know that they have the ability to do something like this can keep them in school, and I just appreciate you doing that for them. We're going to move into the business portion of our meeting, so you're welcome to stay for that, but you're also welcome to exit out now briefly. We'll take a break, and you can go have dinner or watch the Suns game or whatever you got going on tonight. Jacobson up here for a 5-year capital plan and current construction projects update. He put a tie and a jacket on for us and everything. Yeah!
You could take the bucket out of the guy, but don't you? President Berrigan, governing board members, Dr. Sprout, and guests. I'm actually privileged to co-presenting. Mr. Haggerty's going to bring it home in the second half of this presentation. So, and my job is to do the capital plan. So here we go. So actually, the capital plan starts up with maintaining the buildings and making sure that we stay up to standards with our infrastructure and look at building components and life cycles of our systems. We are mandated to do a preventive maintenance program by the state. It's not funded, but we take it wholeheartedly. And the staff has actually bought into this to where if we can actually, we spend $1, we save $5, that's just a normal standard. But I think it actually goes further than that. 9 years ago when I first got here, we had a couple water heaters that were leaking, and as we started doing investigation, what it really turned out to be was a leaky pipe on top that literally is dollars worth of solder versus $9,000 worth of water heaters. So, you know, part of this plan is we are actually have to safeguard taxpayers' dollars, even though it does come from the state. We want to make sure that we're doing the best we can to maximize the facilities. Now, one thing that people don't realize is when I build a capital plan, it's about life cycles. It's about what that is, and if we can extend that life cycle out, it does cost us less dollars. And in front of you, actually, we've never presented this to the governing board of what life cycles really are. We build buildings based off a 50-year life cycle. So a building is built for 50 years plus. And then as you can see down here, the components are actually part of that building structure. So, but unfortunately, back in the day when we built some of our schools, School Facility Board funded a lot of our schools back in those days, and their standard was only a 10-year roof structure. So some of those are starting to come due right now, and I'll share that just a little bit. This is a program that actually is a grant program, which is not cool. I don't know how else to say that. It is one of those things where we have to put in a grant to get state funding for components. This is something that I've turned over to Daniel for the 30,000 under, Mr. Romero, who's our supervisor of maintenance. This year he's done 20 building grants at additional fund to the district at $174,000. This was done in April. We've already done 2 or 3 grants since this time. So, so that number just is going to go. And as our life cycles keep going, this number is going to keep expanding. Now, what I do is actually I do the 30,000 above, which is the construction, which is a planning phase. So for funding, that's going to be $5.9 million in funding for the district on these 4 particular jobs. So Desert Meadows roofing is outdated. And then we can't say painting in the state level, we have to say weatherization. But this is the only time that I really feel good about failing. Right now, we just passed the assessment part of it, and all these systems failed, which means they are due for state funding. Current project we're looking at right now is, unfortunately I have to say this, we're actually putting bulletproof office front store in our schools and film a bulletproof film in our front doors. So that way we can actually lock down the front area to keep it secured. We are, unfortunately, this can keeps getting kicked down the road. Right now, we're looking at a July 13th ship date for our card readers, which will go hand in hand with our security systems to upgrade those to where we can actually push one button and the whole campus is secured. Vista, we are actually looking at remodeling a little bit Vista for future projects. We cannot add any square footage to Vista until we actually get the funding from the state for the new school. But we are looking at relieving some of the classroom space by reutilizing some of the space that we already currently have, which is moving the teacher's lounge into the maintenance area, moving the maintenance area back into part of the art room, and just kind of configuring the school. We have actually hired an architect to do a site master plan on that, and we're still into that study right now to make that campus flow. That is one of our oldest campuses, and it was built in 1998 for the first phase, and there's been about 5 phases after that fact, and I've done 3 of them. So, so we're looking at making that more of up to the standards of EFGA and bringing those classrooms up to speed for those students as well. We have we're doing carpeting at Trailside and Desert Meadows. It goes back to that life cycle. These schools are 15 and 16-year-olds respectfully, and it's time to start replacing some of those cycles. When I first got here 9 years ago, it seems like yesterday, but when I got here 9 years ago, one thing I told Mr. Haggerty when he come in on board in September is, I'm not worried about today, 9 years ago, I'm worried about 7 to 10 years down the road, and now I'm at that point right now. So we're at that 9-year mark, and cycles are just starting to come up. We've never touched the landscaping since I've been here. We're looking at redoing the front, making it more inviting. For some reason, granite just goes away. I have no idea where it goes, it just goes. So
Kids' shoes.
yeah, exactly, exactly. This is actually wasn't really part of our capital plan, but it was part of our preventive and maintenance program. As we started looking at the light poles at Levine, we noticed that they were starting to rust out. We actually removed one because it had holes in it to where it could have fell on a staff or student. So this is part of that preventive maintenance program. We have to really take seriously that way we can actually move forward. When we have life safety or issues in our campuses, we can actually replace those. And same thing with the shade structure. It's just due. It's time. You know, we're in sunny Arizona, and other than the last couple of months when it's really rainy Arizona, it's more sunny, and literally these items only last 10 years, and you know it's time. And then, as you all have probably seen, and I've talked to some of you about this, is removal of structures at Vista and Trailside for the solar. What happened there was Solar City was the one that put those in, and they didn't build them to spec. And actually, they're hollow metal and they're full of water. So they're rusting from the inside out. I am working with another company. We haven't got final numbers yet because we're working with SRP. There is a federal grant. They can pay 30% of solar construction. And once we get those numbers back in, I'll be presenting to the administration, and we'll go from there with that. But that actually would bring those twos back up. And then I'm also looking at EFGA and Paseo Point and our transportation bus area for solar. So. And then safety gates, what we started looking at when we started with the safety committee team was the back maintenance areas didn't have any walkway to get in and out, so we were leaving them locked for vendors to come in for food and the maintenance. Also, too, we've learned over the years that we not have been safe with our fire department because there is a 50-foot run-out rule, and some of those are really short, and we don't have that 50-foot run-out. And as we started locking our fencing to keep security, then we started getting in violation with fire codes. So those are ongoing right now because that's something we had to pick up right away. Here's kind of the spreadsheet that you guys have seen in the past. This is just kind of roofing cycles or cycles of different components. Here's our roofing. As you can see, this year, Trailside Desert Meadows is actually due. Trailside was just got done 2 years ago. Desert Meadows is due right now due to life cycle, and then MC Cash and Vista are due up next. We believe that these will be coming up in the next few years, which is right now a roof's about $2 to $3 million to the district. HVACs, you see that's based off of the life cycle. What you don't see right there, and this is something that the state doesn't fund, and it's what I've been arguing with the state about for years now, is being proactive instead of reactive. Cheatham's units are 21 years old right now, and so it's not on this chart because it's 7 years past this chart in the rear. So it's something that yesterday I was talking to a lawyer that's doing the capital, one of the lawyers that's doing the capital lawsuit about my opinion on this particular subject about we need to be more proactive than reactive. I know Mr. Haggerty's been in the lobby groups that actually look at that as well. Actually, I was looking at this and previewing this. It's actually exterior weatherization. We can't say paint. Sorry about that. But as you can see, the three that were listed on my list that did fail, there's 5 more behind it next year. So if they're about $1 million per school, that's $5 million right there just in weatherization to the district. Interior flooring, those we really have a good custodian program that actually keep our floors clean, but they started coming to life cycles as well. Safety and security, this is something that we've really been emphasizing this year, is trying to get our safety and security up to where we're matched up with all of our security systems. Over the years, we didn't have a building standard on the inside about what we put in for security, so we have multiple different systems that don't talk to each other. So we're looking to upgrade those systems with our card readers that will talk to each other Don't ask me, Butch is actually involved with that, so he knows how to talk to things, and I don't do that, so. And then on that, I'll hand it over to Mr. Haggerty.
And you'll be happy to know there is no Dr. Seuss in the rest of this presentation. But going forward, we're looking at the transportation portion of this. And we actually ordered these 5 buses. You may remember these same 5 buses from last year. This broken supply chain is affecting us. We ordered them, and they're still not in yet. So they're still on the plan. We're still looking to get those soon. I don't know what soon means yet, but they say soon. We've also ordered, this was also on the prior year plan, the 2 3/4-ton pickup trucks with the utility beds. The other thing we do is we like to upgrade and refresh our camera system on the buses. Sometimes it's adding cameras, sometimes it's upgrading the quality of the cameras also. Now this year, we're looking to replace the child nutrition van. It's 7 years old. It still operates, but it's paid for through the child nutrition budget. So even though we're going to replace their van, we're taking this existing one, it's got useful life left in it, and we're going to convert it into an IT van so they don't have to go back. Was that you? Butch likes this idea. So they don't have to beg for other rolling stock to move their equipment around. They'll have it, and it's enclosed, and it's air conditioned. So we can thank our child nutrition group for buying a van and giving this over to IT folks. And then we're also looking to replace a very old car that the maintenance on it is just killing us right now, but we want to do that with electric-powered cars, so we're still working on that element. And by the way, that car is 15 years old, so it's up there, and it's time. Now, we're also looking at going green as much as we can, and there's several reasons for this, but we are looking at possibility of propane-fueled buses, electric vehicles. We just put in a grant for them, getting 2 buses in, plus infrastructure, because no matter what you do, you've got to, with either of these, there's infrastructure that goes with it, whether it's the fueling stations for the propane or the charging stations for the buses. And those buses are extraordinarily expensive. They're more than double the cost of a regular bus. So hopefully we're going to be getting some of the money from this grant. We got through phase 1. That was a positive. 2 more phases to go, and the 3rd phase is actually the funding. So hopefully we'll see that by next Friday. We'll let you know if we were successful. And by the way, we had Eric Kissel and our new CFO, Charlie, worked on these. We all worked on this together, and we got it in. So hopefully we'll see something positive out of that. So we're also looking at other grant funding because, again, we have to replace our buses. We're on a cycle. We have to replace our other equipment. So if we're going to be going to alternative fueling like electric, which does seem to be the future right now, we got to be able to get some grant money in to help support these operations. So that infrastructure, we already did build enough to fuel one electric bus and 2 regular vehicles. We need more. We need to put in a lot more to make that more effective. Let's see. Oh, one thing I did want to mention about the buses, regulatory agencies right now, EPA and all that, seem to have a real problem with diesel. So they seem to be pushing things in that direction. So moving away from diesel. So that's one we have to always keep our eye on. Diesel buses won't last forever. If that supply line ever really does dry up, we are going to have to convert at some point. So actually dipping our toes in it first, and especially if we can get grant money, is going to be very helpful. Other things we do, we've got going our technology. We always refresh our laptops. The iBoss system is our internet protection for our students, and we always stay on top of that. That's through the cloud. And we always have to continue adding our licenses and renewing our district curriculum. So also in our IT, we're in the process of doing our exterior cameras at the school sites and adding cameras. When you add cameras, you put more of a load on your servers, which means we are having to upgrade our servers as we go through this process also. Some of the things we really like our IT people doing, Mr. Lopez is putting together and implementing our 2-step authentication program. We've already kicked that off. That's going in right now. Our cybersecurity, we're always on top of that. We have a phishing prevention campaign that these guys are on top of all the time. And some of the other things, we will continue to maintain our one-to-one for our students, continue to get rid of the stuff that is obsolete and replace it with the new, and we are going to put dark fiber in at our next two new schools. And of course, we put it in dark, but we light it, it becomes part of our systems. Now, the other thing that we look at, here it is on a map, we adopt curriculum. And some of these are rather expensive. You can see as we're going through English language arts is a little bit further out, but we have our DLI program. So this is basically all of our district-wide programs, but DLI is coming on us right away. So we're going to see that at one of our schools. It's not on here because it's not a district-wide program, but this is where you see all of the implementation for our curriculum and our IT. And I also so stand for questions, and I'll have a follow-up statement. So questions on any of that?
Any questions or comments from the board?
I just have one question. So on the school security, does EFGA already have it, or are they also including that? Because I don't think they were on that list.
Robert, yeah. He's our security guy.
So they are included on that because
Okay.
they have the new network, but the problem is their card readers are not to what we're actually going to. So they have the spot, we just have to change out the heads, yeah.
Good question. So
Any other
we'll be
questions?
upgrading.
Comments?
Okay, want to close up with, we're giving this to you in phases. You know, Dr. Sprout gave the whole demographic study that we had done to show where we're headed overall, and that was done in a prior board meeting. This is our 5-year plan, basically saying this is where we live today, and you see this every year. But we've also got a committee that's been working on a 10-year infrastructure plan because we know we don't live in just a 5-year world. We have to plan for what's going to be coming down the road. And in our June meeting, we're going to be going over what that 10-year infrastructure plan looks like. And it should be pretty comprehensive, but we want to get that to you, get your feedback, and then get ready to start plowing forward on that. That's the reason we've got some bond money. That's also the reason we've been doing some capital reserves and building those up to be able to fund these things going forward. So in June, we'll be looking at the 10-year infrastructure.
Thank you. Thank you to Robert Jacobson and your team for just making sure that that preventative maintenance is done because it does save money in the long run. We have incredible facilities here in this district and second to none in the state of Arizona. And we'd be remiss not to thank our local voters for supporting us in our bond and capital override to be able to do those things. And also, Kevin, to you for making sure that the money's all in the right place and when we need it and all of that. So thank you, very important. Okay. Okay, we have a consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have the revised budget number 2, for which we had a presentation earlier, explaining the purpose of the revision and the new numbers. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries with, next, the fiscal year 24 classified salary schedule. Dr. Sprout, I think you have a little comment.
Thank you, President Berrigan. Administration is recommending that the governing board approve a proposed 2024 classified salary schedule that reflects a 5% increase over the 2023 salary schedule. And with steps, that represents a 7% increase for our employees on the classified schedule.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Excuse me. Next is the support staff notices of, oh, yay. They deserve it. Next is the support staff notices of indefinite term appointment. I'm going to do motions first. I should have done it that way the first time. Motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Dr. Sprout?
The support staff notices of indefinite term appointment are our classified staff members' work agreements for the 23-24 school year. So you will see in your attachment the list of all of our classified staff, approximately 400 employees.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have the revised fiscal year 24 certified teacher, certified non-teacher, administrative, and guest teacher salary schedules. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Dr. Sprout?
The administration is recommending a revised salary schedule for certified, certified non-teacher, and administrative salary schedules that will reflect an additional 4% increase over the 1% the board approved in February. This would make it a total 5% increase to the salary schedule over 22-23, resulting in a 7% increase over this year for all of our employees that move down a step. They will then receive agreements from us tomorrow morning for their new salaries, but all other contract aspects of their contract remain in place.
Very good. That's incredible. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Let's clap for that one too, guys.
And President Berrigan, that one of the markers that we use on our salary schedules is that puts our starting teacher salary next year at $55,000 even.
Wow.
So,
That's awesome. Okay, administrative contracts for principals. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motioned and seconded. Dr. Sprout?
Administration is recommending the governing board approve the issuance of multi-year administrative contracts to principals for FY24 and FY25. As you know, we have a highly skilled and experienced group of principals who do incredible work daily, and we're looking forward to working with them in the years to come.
Absolutely. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Appointment of a trust, oh, okay, let's keep talking. That's a good one. Okay. Appointments of trustee to the trust board. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. I believe this is for Mr. Scott Winter. Dr.
Yes.
Sprout?
Thank you, President Berrigan. In May 2019, the governing board appointed 3 community members to staggered terms to ensure the continuity of the trust board. This year, Mr. Scott Winter's appointment expires on June 30th, 23. He has consented to the renewal of his appointment, and we recommend him for an additional 3-year term.
He is a great trust board member, has lots of wonderful background and good knowledge, and asks great questions. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. And then issues for consideration by the 2024 ASBA Legislative Committee. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. Dr. Sprout?
So as you all know, probably, we are still in the midst of the current legislative session, but we did have a budget that was approved yesterday, but we're already beginning to look at the 2024 legislative session. We are asking, on this, we have 5 requests, and the district must affirm these 5 priorities for ASBA to go forward, and we will pass that information on. One is an increase to the base allocation to match inflation, increase in the opportunity or the poverty weight, increase in special education funding. There's a lot of paper here. Kevin, help me out here. What's number 4? Okay, number 4 is a permanent fix to the approved by the voters for the AEL, although we are encouraged that on our recent passage that they will pass it for 2024, right, Charlie and Kevin?
Yeah.
But we do want a permanent fix to the AEL and Prop 123. That's what number 4 is.
Yeah.
And number 5 is adjust DAA to inflation levels.
Thank you for that
Yes.
summary. Any discussion? Those are all worthy things, and hopefully we'll be able to work on some of those for 2024. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, any comments from the board? Dr. Watkins?
I was fortunate enough to be at Desert Meadows today for their career day, had a great time. I just want to, I mainly spoke to the 8th graders about, the next phase of their life. And, I was so happy to be able to share with our student that graduated from Trailside that's going to Harvard. Just to tell them that, you guys have the abilities to do anything. And there's the proof right there. So I just told them, their best friends in high school are really important. who they align themselves with. And remember, find out who your guidance counselor is. Your guidance counselor is everything. But I had a good time with them. I think they were very receptive to it. I was just proud of them and letting them know, where the school is and what we're here to do, and they were very responsive to it. So I had a good time with them.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Ms. Anderson?
There is a lot of greatness happening, so thank you to all of the teachers and staff for all the great things you do for our staff, or for our kids and our families in the community.
I think we're rounding out Teacher Appreciation Week tomorrow, and, thank you is never enough for our teachers. They're heroes. They are all truly heroes in what they do, helping us raise our kids, frankly. And you guys are all heroes of heroes as administrators, so thank you for what you do as well. Okay, our next board meeting is on June 8th at 5:30. Do they have to be here for that?
Let's go back to the rookie team of MC Cash. Nicole, what did you learn last year?
Robert Cavender taught me, but not until I showed up at the board meeting like this fall. June or July, drive on by.
Okay.
June or July, drive on by. Can we do that?
All right, so there you go.
There's your answer, guys. For anybody else who's new, don't come to the June or July board meeting.
You-
We do love to see that.
I mean, come if you want, but. All right, let's adjourn the meeting.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everybody.